Imagine a time when kings wore crowns and commanded armies, but apparently hadn't quite mastered the art of packing essential road trip supplies. Our story kicks off with Jehoram, king of Israel. Now, Jehoram was the son of the infamous power couple, Ahab and Jezebel. He was trying to be a bit better than his folks, but still had a knack for sticking to some of those less-than-ideal spiritual habits. You know, like trying to cut back on junk food, but still sneaking a few chips when no one's looking. Jehoram had a rather large problem on his hands: Elisha, the king of Moab. Elisha was a wealthy sheep farmer, and apparently he had a flockload of defiance in him too. He'd been paying a massive tribute of lambs and ram's wool to Israel, but with Ahab gone, Elisha decided he was done with the payments. It was less of a tax protest and more of a, "You're not the boss of me anymore." King Jehoram did what any king would do when someone stopped sending their wool payments. He rallied his troops. But this wasn't just a sheepish dispute. Elisha was a tough cookie. So Jehoram called up his buddy Jehoshaphat, the good king of Judah. Jehoshaphat, always the righteous one, agreed instantly. "Consider it done. My army is your army. My chariots are your chariots." He even suggested a scenic route through the wilderness of Edom. And just like that, the king of Edom found himself roped into the adventure, probably thinking, "Great, another road trip. Hope they packed snacks." 3 kings, 3 armies, heading into the vast, dry wilderness. It sounds impressive on paper, but a week into this desert march, a very serious problem surfaced. They ran out of water. Completely. Not a drop for the soldiers, not for their horses, not even for the grumpy camels. King Jehoram, in a moment of pure panic, cried out, "Oh no! Did the Lord trick us into this desert rendezvous just to hand us over to Moab?" It was less, "Woe is me," and more, "Who's responsible for this itinerary?" Then, the ever-wise Jehoshaphat chimed in. He wasn't thinking about a quick fix, but a divine connection. "Isn't there a prophet of the Lord around here?" he asked. "Someone who can actually get a signal to the big boss upstairs?" A servant of the king of Israel then remembered, "Hey, there's Elisha, the son of Shaphat. He used to help Elijah with, well, whatever Elijah needed help with, like pouring water on his hands. He's probably got a direct line." So the 3 kings, looking less like powerful monarchs and more like desperate campers, trudged over to Elisha. Elisha, however, wasn't exactly rolling out the red carpet for Jehoram. "What do you want with me?" he practically grumbled. "Go ask your parents' personal fortune tellers. I'm busy." He probably had a do not disturb sign hanging, figuratively speaking. Jehoram, humbled by thirst and fear, insisted, "No, please! The Lord really has called us 3 kings here to be defeated by Moab." He truly believed they were starring in their own tragic reality show. Elisha, however, had a soft spot for good old Jehoshaphat. He declared, "Look, if it wasn't for my respect for Jehoshaphat, I wouldn't even give you the time of day." It was like being the good kid in a detention class, whose presence somehow made the teacher less grumpy. Then Elisha made a truly unexpected request. "All right, bring me a harpist." Imagine the scene. Thousands of thirsty soldiers, 3 anxious kings, and the prophet says, "What we really need right now is some background music." It was probably the ancient equivalent of asking for a motivational speaker when you're stuck in a ditch. But as the harpist began to play, a strange calm settled over the parched camp. The rhythmic, soothing notes were like a spiritual air conditioner in the desert heat, and as the music filled the air, the hand of the Lord came upon Elisha. With renewed spiritual clarity, Elisha delivered a surprising message from the Lord. Here's what God says: "Dig ditches all across this valley. You won't see wind or rain, but even so, this valley will soon be filled with water, enough for you, your animals, and yes, even your grumpy camels. And that's not all. This miracle is just the opening act. The Lord is also going to hand Moab over to you." The command was simple, yet utterly mind-boggling. Dig trenches in a dry riverbed, expecting water without a single cloud in the sky. It's like preparing for a flood when the weather forecast is 100% sunshine. Yet the kings and their men, probably still scratching their heads, started digging. They probably thought, well, at least it's exercise and maybe we'll find a lost sandal. The next morning, at the time of the morning sacrifice, a sight so incredible unfolded, it made their jaws drop. Water from the direction of Edom came rushing in, not a drip but a torrent. It filled every single ditch, every crack, transforming the barren wadi into a shimmering, life-saving oasis. No wind, no rain, just pure, unexplained liquid miracle. It was like ordering a pizza and getting a whole buffet delivered by magic. The Moabites, who had gathered their forces nearby, saw the water reflecting the morning sun, and to their eyes, it looked like blood. This is blood. The kings must have had a massive royal rumble and slaughtered each other. Quick, let's go collect the loot. Mistaking the divine provision for a bloody battle, the Moabite army rushed toward the Israelite camp, practically drooling at the thought of easy plunder. But as they approached, the allied armies, fully rehydrated and surprisingly energetic, rose up and attacked. The Moabites, caught completely off guard by their gross miscalculation, were utterly routed. They probably ran faster than a kid who just saw their parent pull out the broccoli. The kings pursued them relentlessly, devastating their land as Elisha had foretold. They systematically destroyed cities, filled fertile fields with stones, stopped up every single spring, and chopped down every valuable tree. And so, what started as a desperate military campaign in a parched desert, complete with a "who forgot the water" moment, turned into a remarkable testament to God's unexpected provision. The armies found victory, not through their strategic brilliance or superior numbers, but through a miraculous intervention, all sparked by a king's humble inquiry and a prophet's slightly eccentric instruction. It just goes to show, sometimes all you need is a little faith, a lot of digging, and maybe a harpist to get the job done. Stay connected for more videos that are interesting yet uplifting.